You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Monday the 4th of August 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I'm recording this, unfortunately, in my Singapore hotel room again. I meant to go outside and record it, but it would have literally meant going outside just to record the podcast. So today, technically it is today. I'm flying to Sydney, Australia. Quite soon, actually. So what have I managed to get done today? So I didn't do an awful lot last night after I spoke to you. I was quite tired, quite jet lagged, obviously, because of the 7-hour time difference. So I didn't do a lot more. I watched a bit of television. I've been watching old episodes of Doc Martin. I'm now into the 5th series, which is where it got a bit strange. It's when Catherine Parkinson and I can't remember her name, a lot of the characters that I really liked left, and I'm slowly getting used to more Wenner and Eileen Atkins as the new aunt, the replacement character. But anyway, I had an early night and I slept well, and then this morning, of course, I woke up very, very early and decided to go and do my 20 minutes on the treadmill. So what I'm trying to do every day, if I can, is just 20 minutes, just a mile, basically, on a treadmill. I do have one at home, and obviously there are ones available for me to use in some of the hotels we stay in. So the idea is I just want to try and get my fitness levels up, basically, because I walk a lot, but I walk at a kind of sedate pace. I don't really get the heart pumping and the blood flowing. So basically I'm just trying to do 20 minutes a day where I do a mile and I do it as quick as I can. Well, not as quick as I can, but I'm increasing the speed at which I do it. So and it might end up being more than a mile, but to start with, I'm doing a mile a day. So I went and did that. I then walked into the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. There are all over Singapore, and some of them are 24 hours. So I went to the nearest 24-hour one and technically it was breakfast, but I didn't really feel like eating like all the breakfasty stuff, because they have these kind of, they have not traditional fry-ups. I think they're much more healthy than that. But I just felt like something more. I just ended up having another Caesar salad, to be honest. And whilst I was there, I started working on chapter 4 of Self-Portrait. It's chapter 4 is going to be 3 scenes, basically. The first one is an exchange between Lady Khalida Desai and Isabel Myerscough, and it's kind of, amongst other things going on, the important thing in that scene is that Isabel has sort of noticed there's some friction in the leadership of the Sutherland Institute, particularly Meredith is rubbing up Lady Desai the wrong way and vice versa. And Lady Desai is basically, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to decide which side you're on, Isabel. You do realise that. And she's kind of like, well, I think you should work together, actually. And there's another bit which I've kind of, again, without revealing a spoiler on here, there is another moment. So basically, Isabel's handing over because she's having a couple of weeks off. She's going on holiday with her daughter. And this is the first time we know she's got a daughter. I already knew she had one. I knew even in the first book that Isabel had a daughter, but decided not to mention her until this book. And there's a bit where Isabel mentions, I'm taking, what did I call her? Robin with a Y. I'm taking Robin up to somewhere or other. And then I thought, So I haven't done this yet, but I've thought of I've decided that she doesn't tell the Sutherland Institute the fact she's got a kid. And then we find out that Lady Desai already knows that she has a daughter. And that freaks her out a little bit, but I haven't done that yet. In the version I wrote, she just says, I'm taking Robin up to Northumberland. We're going to have a little holiday up there. See, I've based it on where I've just been on holiday, just to make it easy if I have to describe anything that they do when they're up there. So there's that scene. And then the second scene, which I had my breakfast, then I went up to 7-Eleven and got a couple of bits and pieces to shove in my fridge to eat just before I took off, which I've now done. So I then went up to, we've got a lounge available to us now. So I went up and sat in the lounge and started writing the next scene, which is a scene with Evelyn and Molly, and she's taking her into Leicester to show her the city, and they're going to go and stop in a coffee shop, which is on the site of the old a charity shop that was featured quite heavily in the last book. That was run by Geraldine. Geraldine is dead. She died in the last book. So the site is a Sutherland Institute site. They do use it as a bit of recruitment monitoring and stuff. So they're going to visit, and I think Molly is hoping to catch up with Jagvir, but he's not there. And then the third and final scene in the chapter, and I haven't written any material for this yet, is going to be basically a continuation of the storyline with Charlie, the Chinese boy that Saward has discovered has abilities. It's going to be a continuation of that storyline. So yeah, so it might be a little bit longer than the previous one. So most of the previous chapters have been about 4,000 words. I reckon this one might be about 5,500. But I'm going to crack on. I don't know when I'll finish, but if I can finish before the end of this trip, which, bearing in mind I've got 4 or 5 days, I do stand a good chance of doing, that'd be utterly fantastic. Having said that, I do have plans for my next full day in Singapore, but I'll talk to you about that in a future episode, maybe even do the podcast from there. Anyway, thanks for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.